women have a literal ATM between their legs.
Social media, as you just mentioned, has made the world for a global sexual marketplace. The men's loneliness epidemic. Guys are going through mental health issues, are resigned. It's the 3-step action program for 2025.
Okay, so you got to get financially stable, work on yourself. 70% of all romantic relationships are beginning on some form of social media, whether that's Instagram, whether that's Tinder, in some form of like online.
What is the formula behind getting good photos?
The sexy six would be this. I won't go into technical detail on this. The right focal length, fashion, lighting, grooming, location, and making a comfortable expression.
What are the 3 top performing pictures that when they use on Instagram or on dating apps, get them the maximum success?
The other part you want to say, what are the 3 top photos?
Performers.
A physique shot. If I had to pick a number 2, a nice portrait shot. 3rd, some type of high status shot.
If dating in your country is rigged, how would you go to change the odds? Welcome to the Karan Capital Podcast. I am a software developer turned entrepreneur, and I'm always looking for ways to optimize my dating life, my finances, and get better as a man. Today, I have a very special guest. I have Casey Redbeard. Casey is a good friend. I have worked with him, and he owns the niche of passport bros. And he has some amazing products, amazing offers to help men level up their dating lives. If you're living in the West and you want a leg up, you want to get access to women that are way more feminine, are a better fit for you, and you don't want to be stuck in a terrible dating market, he has a complete playbook on how to succeed. Casey, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you for having me, bro.
So we are now in Rio, Brazil, and over the last few days and months, we've worked together, and I've had some amazing success with doing some of the things that you, like the courses you have, the programs you have. I want to go straight into our first topic. Dating in the West, you always say, is rigged against men.
Yeah.
Why would you say that, and what is the solution?
Why is dating rigged against men in the West? In these modern times, right? We're not on the savannah. We're not throwing spears and hunting elk and deer anymore with the women, gathering the fruits and berries. Things have changed. Being in a modern capitalistic society, especially with social media, has tipped the scales in women's favor. What men have between our legs, with our anatomy, what you and I have sitting between our legs, is about as useful as a pet rock in today's society. It's about as useful as a screen door on a submarine, yet women have a literal ATM between their legs. I mean that in the literal sense of it can produce cash, and I mean that in the sense of saving time and getting favors and getting a leg up in a variety of ways in society. So, like a quick example would be, if you pulled over at a gas station on a road trip, you go to the guy like, hey man, like I'm tired, man. I've been on this road and I just need some gas, bro. I have no money. I need some beef jerky. I need some water. I'm dying out here. Can you help me? I got no money. I'll even do you a favor, wink, wink. Or you say it's a female cashier. It's a female cashier. Hey, love, I'll do you some favors back there. Turn off the cameras. Look at you. You're like you're fucking crazy. An even normal or even slightly below average chick says that to the guy that's working at the gas station. Hey, listen, I need some beef jerky. I need some gas. I got no money. Can I take you in the back room? He's going to say absolutely, like for sure. But it's not only that. They can get lazy photography, lazy selfies, and get unlimited matches. They'll constantly be approached by guys, get good offers. Even the concept of a bar. If I told you, hey, Karan, we're going to go out tonight, and there's going to be all these women. They're going to come up to us and try to entertain us. We don't have to think of the good conversation. We don't have to be interesting. We don't have to bring the good vibes. We'll just stand there and they'll come to us. And some of them will be ugly, but we can tell them to scram. But a lot of them will be hot. They'll buy us drinks. So it's not just like literally trading the vagina for money, like in the gas station example, but it's attention, being able to, get away with being lazy, not having to be interesting or solve any problems in life. So that's why it's so messed up. And then the answer is go to a better dating market.
Gotcha. And 10 years ago, or even 15 years ago, or our parents' time, I guess dating wasn't as hard as it is today,
No,
right?
no, not
And
at all.
so, what has caused this bear market or decline? Like, what is the exact, like, what is the reason behind it?
Yeah. So it's called Hoflation. That's the technical term for it. So what's causing Hoflation? It's a variety of things. It's many, many, many things. Feminism, groupthink, making women act more masculine, many, many things. Too many things to cover in this answer. But the two big ones are large cities and social media make women horrible human beings. Well, it's not natural to be in a city like, we'll say Los Angeles, New York, Miami. Even cities, like Manila, right?
Yep.
It's not natural to have 2, 5, 10, 8 million plus people crammed into a tiny area and then have a social media algorithm built by fucking nerds put the top 0.001% of guys at the top of her feed, in her DMs, on her For You page. So she's getting hit up by guys. And what's the average screen time? It's like 8 hours
8 hours a day?
Yeah. So the average, and of a hot 21-year-old, it's probably 9, 10, 11 hours
Probably
per
higher,
day. Yeah, probably
right?
higher. So her feed is the tallest, best looking, most charismatic guys that she's seeing, comparing what the algorithm has selected as the top 0.001% of these millions. And then on top of that, even worse, she has women on her feed, and women look up to other women, like women idolize the Kardashians,
Right,
for some reason.
Yep.
And then she has women saying, "Oh, girl, if he ain't paying your bills,
deserve it."
yeah, if he ain't taking you to Dubai and yachts and 5-star dinners, like he ain't worth shit, girl, da 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 da." And then they're seeing that from the influence. So between the fact that they're just getting bombarded by good, better than what they deserve matches in their DMs and the social media, and then being in a big city with just too many options,
Too many options.
has made women terrible.
Social media, as you just mentioned, has made the world global marketplace for dating, for a global sexual marketplace. DMs, women get DMs all the time from guys across the world, and and those guys are serious about flying them out. And the guy in their local neighborhood or their town or in their workplace, he doesn't stand a chance because her mind is colored by these offers that are coming from around the world. And as you said, consumption of this lifestyle that she's not living right now, but she's been told that she deserves it. So this is not a reality for her. I mean, she's not living this reality, but social media has made her mind, has colored her mind. What is the solution to this new dating marketplace where this is normal? What is the solution?
We need to take up arms, go to the Meta building in San Francisco, and burn that motherfucker down. Coming for you, Zuck. Fuck you, Zuck. We're going to burn it down. No. I'm not inside. They're going to get me for inciting riots, right? They're going to clip this and say, Redbeard's inciting riots, like a January, whatever day that was at the Capitol. No. So again, what's the question? How do we, repeat again, how do we?
The norm now is you're bombarded with offers. Your mind is colored with that this is normal.
Yeah.
I might be a waitress, or I might be working at an office, a day job. But no, there's dudes with Lambos, princes, football stars who I deserve because they're liking my photos. I get DMs. If this is a new normal, how do you date in a world where this is normal?
Got it. Yeah. You really have to step it up in all ways. I did the video where there's 7 strategies. I won't go into all of them, but you should be looks maxing as much as possible. I'm clearly not the authority on how to be a super handsome, super attractive guy. I think I've done good at, the camera thing is getting me from the side. You can see the jawline people are like, this guy get jaw implants because of his beard, hair transplants, gym, things like that. You got to get your money right, because at the end of the day, a perfectly chiseled jawline and big arms don't pay the bills. What else did I talk about? You got to be social skills maxing. I'm using all these Gen X or Gen Z, Gen Alpha. What generation is the youngest generation? Gen Alpha, I think.
Gen Z, Alpha.
Gen Alpha terms social media max or looks max. Social skills max. You should be doing cold approach. The thing that we were working on here with the photo shoots and all that thing that we've done for you, and I think people can see these photos on the wall right here, is building what I call a high status social media presence. So look, the thing I talked about in my video, like the looks thing, you got to be what I call a universal 6. You can't be gross to touch.
Right.
So all the stuff that I talk about, having a high status social media and looking like, You're the boss, you're James Bond, you're fun, outgoing, social, charismatic, rich, successful, well-connected. I don't know, whatever all these things are, high status that women look for. If you're just outright gross to touch, it's not gonna save. You can't be Jabba the Hutt with a high. I wore a blazer,
Right.
But assuming you could, do your social skills are at least a 6 or 7 out of 10. Your looks are at least a 6. Meaning just don't be fat and work out. A high status social media is one of the most powerful tools for succeeding here because, again, let's say even in a cold approach, we can talk all day and we can go into this later about how meeting women on social media. I think the benefits of having a high status social media and good photos for meeting women on social media are pretty obvious.
Correct.
But even a chick you meet at the daytime, you walk up, you make her giggle. Maybe you were a little bit nervous. Maybe it was an average approach. Maybe it was even a great approach, but it was just an approach, but it was quick. She was getting in her Uber. She had to go back to work. And then you just take a phone number. Look, if you were the fucking man, if you were charming and you had time and you could do an Insta date with her, great, off just a phone number. But if it's a quick approach or if you're a little nervous, which look, I get approach anxiety doing this for 15, 20 years, whatever long I've been doing
Same
this.
here, man.
A high status social media can reduce the flake rate a lot. Again, if you were a weirdo in person, if your vibe was off, a high status social media is not going to save you. But if you at least did a very average approach, which today most guys are bitch made and they don't approach at all.
Right.
So cold approach actually gives you a boost just for even fucking doing it. And then she sees, oh, that random guy who was kind of like charming. I just barely met him. He's giving a speech on stage.
Yep.
He's traveling and flying private. He's smoking a cigar at a amazing venue. He's, he knows Casey Redbeard, like whatever it is, like, doing all these things, hanging out at nice locations, social. Then now again, it's going to make the flake rate go down a lot because it's like it's your whole online resume. So that's one way to succeed because and there's a lot of other good choices around social media. So we got to step it up and get at the level of the other guys that are sliding in our DMs.
Right. So Casey, I'm now going to go into your experience being someone who's Passport Bro also has arbitraged the global dating marketplace. You say that you wouldn't date a woman over the age of 27 as a troll.
Yeah.
Or is that serious? Like, what's the meaning behind it?
Yeah. So it's not because women necessarily lose all their collagen in their skin and start to look like shit by the time they're 27. On the contrary, a girl with a skin routine who's taking peptides, or I don't know, sleeping a lot, not drinking. Some of these 27 dudes, even some of these 32-year-old gym rats look better than the 21-year-olds.
100%.
But even sometimes they start to crack a little bit at 27. But that's not the main reason. The main reason is because ever since she turned, 14 years old in her freshman high school class, if she didn't look like complete shit, even if I'm talking about a very average woman, let's say a 5.5, just ever so slightly above average woman. We're not talking, forget the 9s and 10s. We're just talking about an average woman. She's 14, she's 15 years old, already the seniors, the captains of the football team, the top level guys in her social circle, which is her high school, are going to be coming at her left and right. I mean, she's going to get flirted with by a lot of gross guys, a lot of weird guys, a lot of average guys, and a lot of fucking top level guys. Then she's 16, 17, 18. Now she's an adult. 21, she can start going clubbing. Or if it's a foreign country, 18, 19, she can already go clubbing. She's going to be exposed to all these guys. And if you haven't been able to lock down a guy by age 27 with social media, with dating apps, with men as desperate and having as little options as they have, how insufferable is your personality? Again, we're not talking about the twos. If you were born with like a half aborted fetus on your face, or you got like that Shrek, SpongeBob body that's just even working out and plastic surgery can't save you. I get why those girls would be single at 27. We're not talking about, they're talking about like, at least semi-average looking. And most girls through gym and stuff could at the very least get to a 5 or a 6.
5 or 6, yeah.
And you're still single. You must have a very masculine personality. You must be crazy. There's no reason why, or you have delusional standards. You're waiting for, Chris Brown to wife you up. So I'm just saying, for how easy you have it. That would be like if you held like, 14 degrees, you had, a PhD in, I don't know, physics, chemistry, law, and like you couldn't get a job. It's like, bro, you're the Harvard valedictorian and you can't find a job. Well, it's just the market. It's like, no, the job market ain't fucked. You're the valedictorian of Harvard. Like if you can't get a job at like a semi-decent job
It's
You're
not,
the problem.
It's not the marketplace. It's you. That's the problem.
Exactly.
So that's the reasoning behind that statement that you make.
Exactly.
27.
Exactly. Now, if a guy's single at 27, even a decent level guy, women have tattoos, piercings, masculine personalities. They're insufferable. Most of the pretty girls have sugar daddies. It makes sense for a 27, 37, 57-year-old guy to be single because I don't want to get too much off on a topic, but
But you got to build your value as a man. It takes time, and you also aren't sure about what you even want in life. Like we still have time to work on it as guys.
yeah, exactly. And that too.
Yeah.
That too. Like the woman has her value because we started talking about when she was 14, she's getting hit on by 16, 17-year-old guys, in her class, where the seniors in your high school were the hottest babes throwing
Hell no, dude. Dude, hell no.
Or did it take you time to, become successful, earn a good income? I know you were like in software, right? But like now the women are, now that you got the social media, now that you got,
Getting your shit together in life can take time. And then when you do have it, that's when you become a good prospect in the dating marketplace. Makes
later on,
perfect
whereas
sense.
women are born with their value.
Right. So, Casey, there's this topic that people don't really talk about these days, which is the men's loneliness epidemic. Guys are going through mental health issues, are resigned. And you mentioned to me actually a few days ago that you're in a group chat with some other mentors and coaches, and they were having trouble with guys just wanting to sign up for a basic offer to improve their romantic and dating life. What do you say to this?
Yeah. So I got to say this carefully because I don't want to, offend anybody or anything like that. And I never thought I'd be saying this because I don't want to say like I'm playing for the other team, but the men's loneliness epidemic is self-inflicted. These guys fucking deserve it. Now, if you're a guy who's working on yourself and you come from, I don't know, let's say you're 5'2" and you're working on yourself and you have not only you're 5'2", but you have an ugly face, but you're in there grinding it out. You're trying to get a remote job. You're trying to go to a better dating market. Maybe you're going to the Philippines or El Salvador, a country where 5'2" isn't even like that crazy short. And you're in the gym. You're maybe 5'2" vertically, but you're trying to get to like 6 feet that way. I'm not talking about that guy. Okay. So if you're that guy and you're still lonely, I don't think you deserve loneliness. I don't think like all men per se deserve, the male loneliness epidemic. But let's be real, that's not 99% of guys. Most guys are average height, average looking by definition. And for example, I had a guy, I think I told you this story too. We do these high status photo shoots. Maybe in the editing, we'll put some photos, how your photos, came out. We'll do this in the editing and, other whatever. And I was trying to sell another guy in a package at a very reasonable price, a guy who makes $300 to $400 an hour. And I can see that from like the type of watches he has and cars. Like I know the dude's got money.
Yep.
And we're talking about doing a photo shoot at a very reasonable price. And he's like, no, I see the value. I know that like you showed me the old photos, the unplanned, camera roll, just taken in the moment photos versus the plan. Like, I get it. They're way better. And then, you could automate it with a VA, but I'm just thinking I got to take the photos and like, I got to get a haircut. And he said it in that tonality too. He didn't say like, oh man, I got to get a haircut. Like, damn. He's
like whining about it.
I got to get a haircut. And I'm like, so you want to date the hot, beautiful 21-year-old that you have an amazing mental connection with, amazing emotional connection with, passionate, fiery sex. You love her. You think about her. She worships you, treats you like a king. She sucks your dick every morning. And the thing that's holding you back from getting that dream girl is getting a haircut. Like you're usually like, and sometimes they say in sales, like, these excuses are like smoke screens for a big excuse, but it'll be other things like, guys will, the fall through rate, if you send them like, say, hey, you can get on a free call with me. I'll give you a free audit, but you got to watch this 20-minute video. And in the video, I embedded like a code word. 99 out of 100 guys aren't going to watch the 20-minute video and respond back with the code word. It just seems like it's impossible to help these guys. And then, then there's all the hate comments. This doesn't work. I think it's partially that men have just given up. And I don't think it's like all their fault. I think it's guys like this, right? It's like,
yeah, Casey, sorry, I want to interrupt here. Men having given up, I believe that is the reasoning behind it is society has failed men.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. Talk about that. Yeah.
So, if society has failed men and we're living in a system that's rigged against guys succeeding in any way, and only the top 1% get all the spoils, the rest get nothing, how do you deal with this? I mean, being resigned is a function of that,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Taking action, yes, I get it. What are some of the basic steps a guy in today's day and age has to do to combat this system that's set up against him?
Yeah.
3 things.
3 things. You got to get financially stable. I've never in any recent time seen a girl, very minor cases, be with a guy who wasn't financially stable. Look, it's usually 18, 19-year-old girls that still live at home and have, fairly rich parents will date like the sexy salsa instructor who's broke. She takes a salsa class. The salsa instructor's, 28 years old. He's got tattoos and kind of looks like a bad boy, and she's 19 and he has no money because he's a salsa teacher. That's the rarity. That's the exception. Any girl, 23, 24, 25, who lives outside of home wants a guy who's financially stable. So you have to do that. If people want, we'll maybe put in the description of this video some resources for getting like online jobs and stuff like that. I'm starting to help guys with that. The other thing would be you have to, I can only pick 3?
Yeah, just 3.
Gosh.
It's the 3-step action program
Yeah.
for 2025.
Okay, so you got to get financially stable. You have to work on yourself. That would include, confidence, social skills, in the gym, things like that, in every way that you can level up. And then understand that the things we talk about, not no shameless plug or anything like that, nothing like that, but 70% of all romantic relationships are beginning on some form of social media, whether that's Instagram, whether that's Tinder. Let's be real. A lot of them are sugar daddy websites, but I mean like in some form of like online. So you have to maximize your social media. Cause like if we said, if you want to get a job and we said that, well, 80% of all jobs are sourced through LinkedIn. That's not a true statistic, but I'm just saying hypothetically, if you lived in some world where LinkedIn just, exploded and 80% of all, 70, 80% of all people who got a job was sourcing it through LinkedIn. And you're like, nah, you know what? I know 80% of people get their job through LinkedIn, but I want to be the 20%. You're not playing the odds. Look, and we talked about cold approach. I'm still a big fan of cold approach. I think that cold approach, day game cold approach, plus having an amazing social media that, lifts you up and allows you to brag and flex afterwards is like crack, is like the most addictive thing ever to women. But ignoring social media is a huge, error, is a big mistake, because like I said, you're just not playing the odds. 70%, and it's only going up.
It's only going up. So Casey, I've always called you, like jokingly, the human photo feeler, because you've worked with thousands of men and you have helped them completely amplify and amp up their dating lives, arbitrage different dating markets and do better, find a partner. Some of them have gotten married. Some of them have found great success. What are the 3 top performing pictures that when they use on Instagram or on dating apps get them the maximum success? And what is the formula behind getting good photos? I know you have videos on this topic, but if I had to summarize that in a few sentences, what would you say?
Okay.
What works?
Got it. So we'll start with like the general format of what makes a good photo, and then I'll pick my top three types of photos. So at first I had the rule of the Fantastic Four, then it went to the something 5. No, it was the Core 4, Fantastic 5. Now I call it the Sexy 6. I just keep adding on these little rules, but the Sexy 6 would be this. I won't go into technical detail on this, but the main one is focal length. So that's number 1. Again, we're talking about the Sexy 6, here. Number 1 is focal length, and then the short version of this is all camera lenses distort your face. So if you ever took a selfie or you thought you weren't photogenic, could be the angle, could be the lighting. It's also the lens is literally distorting your face. Maybe in the editing, we can put like a side-by-side photo on a cell phone to fix the focal length and actually have the photo come out at the same proportions that the human eye sees, and not have it like make your nose look bigger and destroy your jawline, make your jawline look rounded. But if you want your jawline to look like masculine and the full thing, and your nose not to look too big, you just zoom into like 3x.
Right.
Or you can get a DSLR camera with 50 to 85 millimeter focal length. That's probably too advanced for most people. Just use a cell phone and take your photos at a 2 to 3x zoom in portrait mode, and your face won't be distorted. That's number 1. Number 2 is fashion. Again, we can put examples in the editing, but we can do casual chic,
Right.
or we can do formal business attire, kind of like what we're wearing right now.
Yep.
So the fashion speaks loudly about you. When you walk in a room wearing something like this, you just get treated differently, implies success, power, status, all these things. Lighting, the lighting's got to be good. So no top-down lighting, no bright things behind you. What everyone wants to do, the biggest mistake they take on a photo shoot is they'll be at a rooftop lounge and they want to take a photo with the window behind them and all the city behind them. That's what you don't do. Or they want the bright sunset behind them. You want the light in front of you,
Correct.
dark background, light facing you, not on top of you, light in front of you, maybe in front of a window, dark background. So that's lighting. We're talking about fashion. Grooming is, no funky eyebrows. Grooming's probably the easiest. Just like get a haircut. Oh, but I gotta get a haircut. Like get a fucking haircut. Just get the haircut. Stop being a bitch. Like the neck hairs, in beard, if you want to show, my beard right here, I got, the neck hairs are clean. I crop my beard so it looks like I have this fucking Viking jawline. I have a decent jawline even when I shave, but the beard, it maximizes the jawline. So that's grooming. We're talking about fashion. Location.
Yep.
Is a big one. A lot of your subscribers, if they're interested in this dating stuff, may remember there was an OkCupid study. OkCupid was kind of like a Bumble, Tinder, one of the earlier versions of a dating app. And a photo with a pet or animal did really, really well. Like if you had a cute little puppy in the photo, you would get a lot of matches. Now, a lot of these times you would get matches, but the girl wouldn't really respond. She just kind of swiped right for the puppy. And like it was kind of like false data. Like you get more matches, but would they convert into dates? Not necessarily. The reason was because the cuteness and the adorability, if that's a word, the adorability of the dog projected onto you.
Gotcha.
Environment can project status and wealth onto you. So let's just say I was to be like a photo sitting on a chair. Okay, you can take a photo sitting on a chair, fine photo. What chair are you sitting on? Are you sitting on a plastic lawn chair in front of a building that has a home that's dilapidated?
Yep.
The lawn hasn't been mowed, the grass is all crazy, but you're just sitting in a chair? Or are you sitting in a chair, in the captain's chair on a yacht? Are you sitting in a chair on a podcast like we are now? Or are you sitting in a chair at Denny's?
Right.
All these photos, you're just sitting in a chair. But the location implies like, why would you be sitting in like the captain's chair on the yacht? Again, it's not necessarily what you're doing, but it's the environment. And then the last one of the sexy six is making a comfortable expression.
Right.
Yeah, so you can't look like, oh, hi.
What's up?
Yeah. So, that was just to reiterate, the right focal length, fashion, lighting, grooming, location, and making a comfortable expression.
Perfect.
And I guess the other part you want to say, what are the three top photos?
Performers.
Yeah.
Yes. Because guys are OCD about this. They will literally not post a picture because they don't have the perfect one. Will not take any action at all. So for these guys to just move forward with their lives, what would you tell them? Those three.
So we'll have to put this in the editing too. A physique shot. Now, I don't have, hopefully in the editing, as you guys are watching this, we put this in there, but there'll be one photo of me where I have a decent physique. I'm not ashamed by it. It's an okay physique, and that'll be on the left, the before photo, and then the photo on the right will be slightly touched up, and as you guys will see, it's a very, very subtle difference, yet it makes all the difference. But when I take my shirt off, I've been on a date with a chick, we're drinking wine, it's dark. Fuck, even if it was well lit and we were sober, she's never gonna be like, wait a minute, mister. You look 15% more muscular on Instagram.
Got it.
I'm out of here. And she's touching up her photos more than I am.
Women are the number one users of these face app and all these tools. They're basically Photoshop times 100.
Bro, I've seen like, my buddy said he got blackfished recently, which is like, she was white in her photos and then she showed up as black. She was like a different ethnicity. Like she must have taken her photos with like a high pressure sodium, like one of those marijuana grow lights, like those super bright, 1,000-watt high pressure sodium bulbs, like in her face that like changed her white. And I don't know what she did with the lighting, but so the physique shot's number one. Now that's not for everybody, but like I said, if you're even remotely close, if you're even like kind of close, you can do a little bit of industrial light and magic to get, the physique, the full blown physique shot. If I had to pick a number two, a nice portrait shot, maybe we'll put examples of portrait shots. These are where, maybe you're around like, you're framed from chest to the top of the head. Your face is clearly in focus, ideally on a DSLR camera with natural, sunlight facing you. You'll just look the best on a 50 to 85 millimeter lens in natural sunlight. And the background will be kind of blurry, but you'll be in sharp focus.
Got it.
And then if I had to pick a third, some type of high status shot, something that she will seldom see on a guy's profile, something that 99.9% of profiles won't have, and that implies and says great things about you without you having to open your mouth. This would be speaking on stage in front of at a conference, or just speaking in a seminar room in front of a group of guys, kind of a leader of men shot. Like you're at the front speaking to a group of guys, you on a podcast, kind of like what we're doing now. How many guys have could get invited on a podcast, could run their own podcast, could afford the equipment to set it up? A podcast, typically non-charismatic, shy, unsuccessful weirdos don't get invited to share their boring lives
Correct.
on a podcast.
And I found it interesting that you didn't say, hey, do a photo with a yacht, supercar, or mansion. It's more like social, showing social value, the podcast, or doing a teaching shot, teaching a seminar. So these pictures communicate social value, and it's not normal for all men to have that in their social media.
Yeah, probably like 1 in every 5,000 profiles has like a podcast or speaking photo.
All right, Casey. Now I want to go into rapid fire to get some of your off-the-cuff responses.
Do it.
So let's start. Best country in the world for a 30-day dating reset for a guy living in San Francisco, Las Vegas, Austin, Texas, or Asia. One country you could go to and have a 30-day reset.
Brazil.
The number one photo that gets results for online dating and Instagram that all men should have.
Physique shot.
Biggest red flag on a woman's Instagram profile.
Lots of story highlights that show her living the good life. One day Paris, one day Dubai, one day, etc. 5-star, everything. Yeah, red flag.
The worst excuse you have heard on a sales call from someone to whom you were selling an offer.
Before I can take a photo, I got to get a haircut and do all that. Ugh.
What's the thing that you think of when women complain that their life is too hard and it's really hard to find a good man these days, and how difficult their life is? Your thoughts on this?
That it proves the power of brainwashing, groupthink, and the lack of empathy that humans have. And then if they could go live in the body and experience life as a man trying to date, trying to talk to women in person, trying to be on a dating app, they would probably have a mental breakdown and need therapy for the rest of their lives if they knew what it was like on the other side. If they're complaining about what they have, yeah, they would need therapy after that.
Guys have it way harder,
to say the least.
The number one thing you would tell a guy who made a bunch of money to do to turbocharge his dating life, the one thing he should do.
Get an online dating virtual assistant to run your dating life for you.
Could you go a little bit into that and how men can use a VA to turbocharge their dating life?
Yeah. This has probably happened at some point in human history before social media. I can imagine in my head, I'm like making up this like story. This is a fake story, but maybe there was like two brothers, two twins. One was like a Wall Street trader and he had no time, but like unlimited money. He was banking, 10 million after taxes. And he had this twin that was kind of a lazy bum. And, he said, hey twin, I'll throw you a bone. I'll pay you 4 or 5K a month. I want you to approach girls in shopping malls, grocery stores, college campuses, wherever. Just find beautiful girls, chat them up, get their phone number, and then bring them to me. And because they're identical twins, when the other guy calls, she has no idea that she's talking to the twin, right? You can do this virtually now. You need to have the high set of social media. You need to be physically what I call a universal 6, meaning, because, guys in group chats, right? Some guys want like the statuesque Scandinavian girls with like their cheekbones. They're like, hi, I'm a Swedish model. Like, this is my face and my body's like, I don't like that. But, a lot of guys are into that. And then some guys like big booty black girls. Some guys like Latinas, right? I'm probably like a universal 6. You're probably in the same thing. We're not George Clooney, but we're not bad looking guys by any means. Some girls going to highly prefer me. like, dude, the beard, the blue eyes, like I want the white guy. And then some girls are going to be like, dude, this guy looks like a leukemia cancer patient. His skin is transparent. I want some brown sugar. You know what I mean? So it's just like girls are going to, differ. So you have to be a universal six. But again, you have a high status social media presence. You worked on your in-person confidence. At that point, you got to get to that point first. Then you can, because the ghost rate, the flake rate, the probability of a girl just going to, disappear in mid-conversation. I've done this personally and through employees.
Yep.
We've texted for, Myron Gaines on the Fresh and Fit podcast, who's, he's very polarizing, but he's famous. We've texted as, Giga Chads in the Philippines, meaning like a Giga Chad in the Philippines will hire us to pretend to be him and text girls on his behalf and then like, schedule the dates for him.
Yep.
Doesn't matter who you are. Doesn't matter what texting style you use. And, if you're a high value guy or say a high net worth guy, you ain't got time for bitches disappearing mid conversation. So they can literally just bring you leads. And if you make if your time is valued at even at the bare minimum, 50, 60, 70 an hour. And certainly if it's above, you're retarded for not doing this yourself. The same way you wouldn't be cold calling for your own business or filing the paperwork or whatever, mundane data entry task for your own business. You'd be outsourcing it.
And given that dating is even more of a numbers game today than it ever was due to the bear market in society for men, it's even more important to generate more leads with a VA and to optimize your funnel, as we call it. I wanted to get some social commentary on you, Casey, on the Passport Bro movement. You own this niche. I search for Passport Bro on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. You show up in the first few videos. First of all, I want you to explain how, I want you to summarize your journey in building your own online presence, your personal brand, and how this niche came. I mean, how you came to own this niche. And I want you to comment on where this is going. It's now entered the mainstream. It's no longer in the fringes anymore. More and more men are doing this. Where is this going to go, and what happens to society when the whole world just becomes this completely globalized marketplace?
Yeah, they say don't choose a niche, become the niche. And that's exactly what I did. Yeah, even a fresh Instagram account, not one that's like cookied and know what you're looking for. If you just search Passport Bro, I come up.
Yep.
So my journey, I guess first, how did I become a Passport Bro? Was that the first part of it?
Yeah, and how did you grow to own the niche?
And then the brand, yeah. So when I was about 16 years old in high school, I found out about Owen Cook, aka RSD Tyler. I got a free audio and I was like, damn, I don't have to be like a chubby, shy kid who plays video games and smoke weed. I could actually learn to talk to girls. Because back then, everybody just thought either you have it or you don't. They didn't know it was like a skill set that you could learn. You could work on your confidence and social skills. It just wasn't talked about. People knew you could learn guitar or volleyball, but they didn't know that you could learn social skills. And I did, and it was amazing. And I learned how to talk to people in person first. And, in America, but then American women became insanely masculine. I don't know, people say we're on the fourth, fifth wave of feminism. I call it the blue hair wave of feminism now that we're in. And I realized that even though I had kept leveling up year after year, I was making more money, adding more muscle mass, getting more confidence, but I noticed a diminishing return despite me improving. And then I said, hey, maybe women overseas aren't masculine and entitled and insufferable and have bad attitudes and all have laughably, comically entitled standards. So I went overseas and short version, yes, it's much better. The grass is greener. It may not be quite the way they market it on, TikTok and Instagram, but it's much better. And then I would post about this on YouTube first. Talk about, my experiences in Colombia and Brazil and, talking about different dating markets and different cities in different countries. But I never really hit it off on Instagram. I had some early success on YouTube. I never hit it off on Instagram. And then it just occurred to me one day, why don't I just try rage bait? Rage bait is a thing. People love, the most, viral social media content is often the most, toxic, infuriating, it's enraging. And I did something about, like I said, in so many words, American women are fat and entitled and masculine, and foreign women are fit, feminine, sexy, appreciative, and non-combative. And I got way hotter girls overseas, and you schmucks are over there dealing with masculinity. You should come over see the grass is greener.
Right.
And I went from getting, I was lucky back in the day to crack 1,000 to 2,000 views on a reel. And I think like one of my first rage bait reels, I got like 30 or 40K. And I was like, oh,
Casey, this just shows that mastering attention is where the money is, and the streamers of the world, Aiden Ross, Speed, printing attention. If you can master attention, that's where the money is. Casey, I want you to tell us about your offer and how you can help men succeed and do better at their with their dating lives, and how you can help them. I would like you to tell us, and also how to contact you.
great. So the offer is we work with you to build you a high status social media presence and then give you the tools to use that for the benefit of, dating or in a lot of cases networking with high status men. I threw these big parties in Medellin. We didn't get a chance to talk. Maybe in the editing we'll throw up some B-roll of like these big parties. But I had to build a WhatsApp group of like 45 to 50 guys who could chip in, $200 to $300 each because I needed a budget of like 4 or 5, even in a third world country, renting the penthouse. We had to pay all the girls Ubers, DJ alcohol. So the offer is we build you that super high status social media presence, you on a podcast, you speaking on stage, portrait shots if you got the physique for it, a physique shot, just to look like James Bond, look successful, cool, social, connected, confident, successful, rich, all these different things.
Yep.
But then after that, how do you find girls on Instagram? Dating's better on Instagram. Dating apps, they're okay.
Yep.
I used to shit on dating apps a lot and I still kind of do, but they're okay. But you'll find better, more like normal girls, hotter girls with small private profiles, less flaky on Instagram. Even if you had this amazing social media, you don't know how to find the girls on Instagram. You probably wouldn't know what to say to them. You probably don't have a full copy and paste text message funnel of exactly what to say and know where you're at and exactly how to, if she's, a time waster, how to identify those.
Yep.
If she is showing interest and you may not have known it, when's the right time, like how to reduce the flake rate, maybe because, guys are at different levels. Some guys can't get a match at all. Some guys get matches, but they get flaked a lot. So it's building the profile first, and then all the knowledge of knowing what to do with it for dating, the right dating markets, what to say, how to find the girls on Instagram, further optimizations. And then of course, the ultimate step, the God tier step, is outsourcing it to an online dating virtual assistant who will literally swipe on the apps for you, sleuth and dig through Instagram and find girls on Instagram for you, chat with them, and then pass off the interaction to you once maybe 10 to 15, 20 messages have been exchanged and she's pretty much just ready for a date or video call.
Right.
You can take over, and it's the same way, it's like lead generation for dating. The same way you might hire an agency to do cold email or cold calling and like warm up leads and then get them on sales calls for you. It's exactly like that, but for dating.
Perfect. So guys, if you want to turbocharge your dating life, get a done for you online presence, social media, dating apps, and also learn how to take good photos, to how to use a VA to generate leads, and to go from 0 to 100 when it comes to being a passport bro and doing it the right way, where you can just drop into a city and have your online presence and your VA ready for you, generating leads, and have your dating life solved for you in today's day and age. Hit up Casey. I've used his services, got some amazing photos. You can see them on my Instagram. And I've gotten dates with my VA. It actually works, the system. And he's also got a course that he will give access to you if you sign up for his services. That is super useful. If you're OCD like me, you want to know all the minute details, what poses work, what photos work, hit up Casey.
It even works for Indian guys?
Apparently.
Yeah, it's always hard to convince, the more Asian and Indian class. I think you guys do have a little bit, tougher in dating, let's be honest. But you've been crushing, man. I'm really impressed with the results and seeing how you're doing. Yeah, and it's just Redbeard Rants on all channels. Redbeard Rants on YouTube, Redbeard Rants 1 on Instagram, Redbeard Rants 1 on TikTok. And yeah, appreciate you.
Casey, thanks for being on here. I really appreciate your time. If you want to see more about the Karan Capital playbook in action, how to build a location-independent global lifestyle, follow me on Instagram at Karan Capital and subscribe on YouTube.